Hello, and thank you for joining us for this installment of CAIS Weekly News. With just under 3 weeks left in this school year, we hope you are enjoying the weather and getting ready for a fun summer vacation.
We hit the slopes for our first story this week. In January 2022, CAIS math instructor Mr. Lau partnered up with Mount Hood Meadows to create a CAIS ski snowboard bus program. Starting again in January 2023, students and families will again have the opportunity to board a CAIS bus to Mount Hood and receive ski and snowboarding lessons. Thanks, Mr. Lau.
Get a taste of movie magic this summer. Production will start this summer on a family-friendly adventure movie, Tardigrades in Space. Substitute teacher Mr. Anderson is seeking students of all ages who want to help launch this sci-fi movie production during summer vacation 2022. See Mr. Zagoni for details.
One of the biggest malls in the Portland metro area is about to get a big makeover. A California-based developer and co-owner of the Bridgeport Village in Tigard is reimagining a key piece of the 500,000 square foot outdoor mall. The company is spending more than $35 million to modernize the 17-year-old shopping center. The renovation will feature covered seating areas, a central courtyard area with new landscaping, a performance stage, updated buildings, and about 20 new storefronts. Today, the mall has about 75 stores. They expect renovations to wrap up by the end of the year.
U.S. News World Report released its annual best places to live in the U.S. Ratings, and 3 cities in Oregon took the rank. Portland came in as number 22nd, while Eugene and Salem also made this list.
People from across the Portland metro area rallied and marched in the Rose City last Friday for a multi-generational climate strike. Thousands of people of all ages marched peacefully from Portland City Hall to the Climate Festival at Revolution Hall. Way to exercise your rights to peacefully protest.
The city of Wilsonville has determined what to do with the former Art Tech High School building, as well as the nearby Kiva building. Public Works Director Delora Kirby said the city will use the 2 buildings for Wilsonville Parks and Rec programs, as well as local community groups. The Art Tech building will also be a temporary space for Wilsonville community sharing. Art Tech students will attend the newly remodeled Athey Creek Middle School campus in West Lynn, starting in 2023.
And just yesterday, ODOT closed South End Road just north of Barker. If you commute through this area, you will need to reroute your travel for the next 6 months. Parts of South End Road will be closed starting this week through November 24th for road and seismic improvements.
The CAIS robotics team is still currently recruiting. Team 2550 Skynet is in need of programmers, web designers, welders, marketers, and CAD designers. If you are interested, please speak with Mr. Bussey. Any student interested in this district is welcome to join. An after-school meeting time is planned to be set by the end of the year. Skynet is open and hoping to reach new heights. We are looking forward to seeing a brand new team for build season next year. For more about robotics team, we will now send it to Michael for an interview with Skynet robotics team members.
Here we are with the captain of the robotics team, Haley Albers.
Thank you for having me.
I got a couple of questions for you today, and I'd like you to answer them honestly. First one, when and what is build season?
So, every January, the First Robotics Competition puts out a game for us, and we build a robot to play that game and score the most points. And so, for several weeks in January, going into a tiny bit of February, we build our robot, and it's crazy. We're all frantic trying to get this robot together, but it's really a lot of fun, and we learn a lot during build season.
All right, what does the robot usually look like or do?
So the robot is usually It usually has a square or a rectangular base with maybe some arms or some grabbers on it to manipulate any game pieces that we will be using. And there is a weight limit. It can't be over around 120 pounds, but ours is usually lighter than that.
Fascinating. What are the perks to being on this team?
So many people who have gone through FIRST in high school, when they graduate and they get a job, they say that FIRST is a very accurate representation of real-world jobs. And there are also scholarships available to people who graduate through FIRST.
Interesting. Last question. How does the hierarchy on this team work?
So the team is comprised of several smaller teams to help build the robot. So every team has a job. There's a marketing team, which helps with outreach, and there's a programming team, a mechanical team that builds the robot, and an electrical team that hooks it all up. But each team has sort of a designated leader. So all those leaders will get together and they'll talk to each other, and then the leaders of the teams will go out, get what they need to do. They get what they need to do done, and they'll come back together and say, all right, what do we need to do next? So there is a hierarchy, but we also value the input of every team member.
Interesting. Great answers. That'll be all. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Michael. That was rad. June 6th, the City of West Lynn City Council will be voting on what will happen to the property on the West Lynn-Willamette waterfront. In addition to the heritage development in Oregon City, this opens up possibilities for people of Oregon City and West Lynn to enjoy the waterfront in new ways. We may see walking paths, new shops, parks, and other ways to enjoy our beautiful cities.
Celebrate Hazel Grove Park grand opening. The 3.5-acre Hazel Grove Park is scheduled for the grand opening this Friday, May 27th. The community is invited to attend this event. Take a walk on the winding pathways that were created to help preserve wetland habitat and the gorgeous tree canopy. The location of this park, just off of Hazelnut Avenue, has deep roots in Oregon City's history. Come check it out and celebrate.
Attention all race fans, this summer at the Portland International Raceway, major racing events are coming. These events include the 61st Rose Cup races, the Trans Am Historic SVRA races, and the NTT IndyCar Grand Prix of Portland. Smaller weekly events are also scheduled. Make sure to head down to the Portland International Raceway to catch some awesome racing.
And finally, spring Chinook salmon anglers are making an appearance on the Willamette River below the falls, returning for their annual crossing into valley tributaries. The passage at the falls typically peaks between now and the end of May, if water conditions cooperate. So, enjoy the season, fishermen.
Thanks again for joining us for this edition of CAIS Weekly News, and have a pleasant tomorrow.